Moving towards the second session of today's Signal Image and Video Processing a Practical Approach 2020. It's my privilege and pleasure on behalf of ENTC Department of Government College of Engineering, Karad. I welcome you, all of you today here. We are delighted to have Dr. Patwardkar ma'am here with us for this second session. I request ma'am to share a knowledge in our Signal Image and Video Processing Practical Approach 2020. So, short introduction about Dr. Varsha Patwardkar ma'am. Dr. Varsha Patwardkar is Associated Professor working with Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad. She is having a 23 years teaching experience. She has completed PhD in biomedical image processing. She is a recognized PhD guide for Dr. BM University Aurangabad. Signal and image processing is her area of interest as well as research. She completed her research project for DRDO Pune. She is a member of ISTLM professional bodies. She worked as a reviewer for 2 international conferences. She organized 5 plus training. She had just 15 plus expert lectures on digital image processing, MATLAB, and outcome-based education at many colleges. She had published 40 plus papers in the international, national journals and conferences. Thank you very much. I request ma'am to start her session.
Varka ma'am. Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes, you are audible.
I guess Karvankar is calling phone. That's not needed.
Yeah. You
Is
are
okay?
audible. Is your camera okay or not?
Yes. Camera
Switch
is
on the camera for a few minutes. Switch on the camera, then share the screen and start your presentation. Then you can switch off your camera.
okay. Is it okay? It's working now? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, camera. It's okay. Now share your presentation. Share your screen.
Yes. And now how I have switch off my camera. Let me switch off first. And I will share the screen. Yes. Is my presentation visible?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Yeah.
Run the
Voice
show.
is- Yes.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah. Shall we start the session?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you can scroll down. Just one
Yes.
time. Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
It's okay. You can see all those.
Oh, yeah. You can start the presentation.
Yes. Thank you so much, Anil sir, giving me the opportunity to discuss with the faculty in this particular FDP. Initially, let me confess, like I have two challenges. The first one is the participants, the audience is invisible. So we are not habituated to talk to the audience which are virtual. I mean, we generally have a feedback system looking at the faces of audience, what pace is to be maintained throughout the presentation. But let me try today with the virtual audience how it goes is the first challenge. And the second challenge is Dr. Udpika sir has given a wonderful delivery and he has given a particular level to the topics he covered. So to maintain that particular level is also another challenge for me since he is associated since 89, he is associated with the industry work. So let's see how it goes. Let's begin with the session.
Sorry to disturb, but audio is not so clear. Do you have a headset?
No. I am putting it on laptop. Is that not clear?
Voice is not coming clear.
Now is it okay? Hello?
Some background noises are coming.
Background noise. Not from me.
Headset. Okay, headset.
Okay,
Can you connect the headset?
just hold on. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello?
You can speak now.
Am I audible now? The
Hello.
voice is clear?
Yeah. Yeah, you can start.
Shall we? Yeah. I guess the earlier sentences few must have received, so I'll not repeat those. Let's begin with the
Yeah.
session. I, being the poor teacher, without touching a small theory part, I cannot directly jump on the applications. So I start with the digital image processing. Though the slide is indicating applications, we'll initially briefly go for a little theory part of the image processing, and then later the second half we'll cover with the applications, case studies. So here we go. Now just look at the slides and just watch few slides I'm going to show here. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. So my question is, of course I know I don't get your audio here, but you are looking throughout the images and your brain is doing something with the images. For example, here you look at, say, you must have given a thought that it's a sorting problem or a segmentation problem. It's something which is a temple. It's something which we are hungry to, and then these so many things. So what do we do exactly looking at the images? You have been processing the images and extracting the meaningful information from them. What is so important about that is, I'll tell you, if I go for, if this is the image, say someone is interested in identifying how many people are there around the shore, someone is interested in having the level of the tide, someone is interested in looking at the monument. So the issue is, the challenge in image processing is, in a given image, some application says that it is object and the remaining is the background, whereas the other application says that the earlier object is now the background. If I am interested in counting the number of people, the rest of the things becomes the background. If someone is interested in looking at the tidal levels, we'll consider people in the background. So the same image can be interpreted in different ways depending on what are the applications we are dealing with. So you have been processing the images and extracting the meaningful information from them. So what is this image processing? It is the manipulation of images to extract the information for a particular application. Oh, this is important slide for us because it tells us, as long as we are dealing with certain application, we need to choose the modality. By choosing the modality of the image, we are choosing the wavelength. For example, if we go to doctor and some fracture issue because of, say, accidental case, then we cannot have a visible spectrum as a wavelength. We cannot choose the ordinary camera to have a photograph and check where the bone crack is there. So we have to switch over to X-rays. Suppose the application is for galaxy, some happenings in the galaxy is to be noted. You have to switch over to the gamma rays. So the wavelength is to be changed. And if it is just an ordinary scene to be recorded and interpreted, the visible spectrum will do. So depending on the application, one has to choose the wavelength for acquiring the image, and accordingly the modality of image acquiring is also changed. So this is a very good, everyone is familiar with this. This is from Gonzalez book, the Bible of image processing, I would say. And all the steps of image processing are known. I just go through the slide quickly without explaining too much because I have some images to show you the result of all this. First, whatever is the problem domain, the knowledge base, the database, everything, the complete umbrella is to be covered over here in the knowledge base, starting with the acquisition, then enhancement, then restoring probably, color image processing, high resolution manipulations, compression, morphology, segmentation, and two more steps till object recognition. Of course, all these steps are not essential for each and every application. Depending on the need, we have to choose which blocks we are working upon. Then these are the areas of image processing. Typically, we have, I'll show better through the slides only. The first one is image enhancement. This is the satellite imagery acquired. So this is the input, and this is after enhancement how it looks like. So if you look at the original image, it is little washed out kind of thing, highly bright it is. So you can adjust the contrast and you can make it like this, so that is the image enhancement. The next is deblurring. Maybe because of some issues with the imaging modalities, there is a problem with this image, and you can correct it with a deblurring mechanism, and the clear picture is available over here. Then next is image depainting. Probably this is an older photo, and then because of storage, the albums are destroyed, or some problem is created to the photos. You can have a depainting and have a clear picture of that. So that's a image depainting. This is typically we face when we scan some papers, we get the noise like this. So we want to get rid of the noise. We'll go for image denoising algorithm for that, and we get a clear output. The next is age detection. So this is the building out photograph, and the lines only are highlighted. Ages in the building photograph are only highlighted. A typical obvious application which I have conducted as an assignment in my master's class, that the wall is given to the students and they have to take the photograph and identify how many liters of paint will be required to paint this particular wall. Obviously, the calibration of number of pixel and the dimension of the wall has to be very proper, so that the correct detection or prediction of the liters volume of paint is done by the students. The next is segmentation. Next is, we are very well familiar with this, is the fingerprint matching. We generally do it, every office, every college is having a biometric now. So we are knowing this. Image compression. We are striving for the bandwidth always, so it is better that we have a compressed image sent over so that the bandwidth will be effectively utilized. And there are so many applications like industrial inspection. Since yesterday we are discussing this industrial inspection, and today morning also Udpikar sir has covered many industrial applications. Even surveillance and security applications also he has covered. The next application is face recognition, gesture recognition, space applications, medical image analysis, autonomous vehicle, virtual reality, and many more. You just name the field, there will be the application of image processing. In typical industry setup for computer vision system, you have the goods on the conveyor belt like this, and there is a illumination, and this is image acquisition. This is a camera typically, and then the camera signals are captured by local host and given to the central processing unit like this. The second application is, again, I'm talking about the industrial inspection and quality control. These are few examples. Here, this is a typical assembly line thing, and through the image, it is identified if some component is missing onto that. Here, that is a capsule, the tablet manufacturing unit, and if by mistake the tablet is not inserted and the paper is pressed onto that, it can be detected with the image processing only. This is the application indicating the level of medicine in the bottle, and this is how many air bubbles are there in a uniform plastic surface in the plastic industry. Then this is a document handling. Probably the archaeology department needs this a lot because the olden documents are to be preserved for a reference forever. Then next is signature verification. It's a digital era, so everyone is trying to switch over on secured digital transactions. So digital signature is important. Biometric. These are multimodal biometric. Just an example I have given. Out of that, the fingerprint we are familiar with. day to day we use it. Then fingerprint verification and identification. The first part of the slide says that who am I? So my biometric is given and my ID is recognized out of over here. Here in the second part of the slide, the biometric is given, name ID is also supplied, and I am who I say I am. And the machine tells really you are correct or you are not correct. Like the Aadhaar card verification everywhere. Then fingerprint identification, again it's a biometric type. Object recognition, if you see a particular reference views and the object is determined. This is, at this point we need it. And so that image processing modules will be inside the microcomputer. This is for video processing. Traffic monitoring can be done very well with the help of image processing or video processing. This is face detection. And just skipping the slides and showing you what I just wanted to tell you how versatile the image processing and video processing things are. I mean, you can identify so many areas of applications of that. And next is face recognition. Next is facial expression recognition. Next is you have hand gesture recognition, human activity recognition. Maybe this is essential to identify what is happening. Like the forensic will be more interested in such kind of applications. This is a well concerned area of everyone, medical application. The skin cancer, breast cancer can be detected with the image processing. We'll be going through few examples later on. And image morphing also for some of the applications we needed. Artificially inserting the object which is not there already, which is inserted with the help of image processing industry. This is visual inspection. If you have subtract the two, you identify that this object is missing, this IC is missing. This is expected. This is the standard image given, and this is the developed product. And out of that, if the comparison is done, this missing object will be identified immediately. Because in so much of densely populated ICs and components PCB, visual inspection is little bit difficult. So image processing helps in this area. Demodulation, if you see AEIOU is determined with the help of character recognition, optical character recognition. So this is just a basic theory what we have gone through, and we have just seen the umbrella of applications. So I guess it's a time for demo. I think every participant is dealing with teaching fraternity. I mean, every participant is faculty somewhere. So since so many days the pedagogy trainings are bombarded, and we understand that to break the monotony, you should have something with you. So I'm going for a demo here, and let me just open a MATLAB. A basic operations, image operations, a demo I will be showing you, and then we'll resume the PowerPoint presentation to go for the case studies. Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible, Anil?
Hello? Hello, madam. Continue, please. You are audible.
Okay. So I'll be going for a demonstration now. This is the GUI created to indicate all the basic image processing operations. We'll go one by one all the buttons. Image negative. So here is the input image, and after this negative, yes.
Ma'am, screen is not visible.
Oh. So
Switch
what do
to
we
the
do?
MATLAB screen. Switch to MATLAB screen.
Yeah, here I am.
No, in screen sharing applications.
Just screen sharing. So I have to go
In screen sharing, you have to switch between the two screens. PowerPoint and MATLAB.
Okay. So how do we do that?
MATLAB screen is not visible to participants.
Okay. So where from I should try that? In share menu?
Yeah, in the menu,
Share my screen?
share my screen, there might be a combo available. You can switch in between the two screens.
No. Share my screen is already done.
Yeah, here you can switch. You can close this browser window.
Close. It's mailbox also. How is it visible?
No, close this browser window. No, close this browser window. Now MATLAB is visible.
Oh, okay. Now I'll just run this application. Let's see what is visible now.
MATLAB.
Okay, GUI is visible.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, I continue with this. Then again, maybe I will have a problem switching back to the PowerPoint. Then help me out. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So negative button is visible. If I press on negative button, the input image is this, and output image is a negative version of that. Then we have this has to be contrast stretching. So for contrast stretching, we need to give the input gray levels, say 50 to 100. I have given the this is a contrast stretched image. Input image is same cameraman. Then we have say plane slicing. So there are it's a 8-bit representation. So we have the 8 bits over here. In histogram, this is the image, and the histogram is displayed over here. For histogram equalization, we have chosen the different images. Typically, the standard images from MATLAB library are chosen for these applications. Then we go for the averaging. In averaging, it is asking us to enter the mask size. So I have given 3. It gives me the average over here. We go for median filtering. Just because of median filtering, we know that the salt and pepper noise is removed. So if you see in the input image, the salt and pepper noise is there, which is removed after median filtering. And the private, with the private, you can have the age detection. Here in the downside menu, bottom side menu, we are going to see the age detection again. Let's go for filtering. Again, it is asking me the mask size. Let me say 5 over here. Plus filtering. So it is blurring the image to full extent because I have chosen higher mask size. We go for high pass filtering, maybe the mask size I will give the 3. And it is highlighting the edges in the image. This is the high pass filtering. And we go for morphology operation study. So this is the original image is the top side and the output image is the bottom side. We go the obviously the will be loaded. The dilation, yes, the dilation element is of large size. So everything is managed out there. We are having a wide band. Then opening, opening is erosion first and then dilation. So we observe this closing the reverse operation of that. We find this. We go for point detection. So for point detection, let me pass the image to that. Just hold on for a while. I can pass the input image of this directory. So this is Volkswagen logo I have chosen, and point detection is that is converted to dots. However number of points are there, it is showing us. Then we go for line detection. If I enter here 1, it will do one operation. All horizontal lines will be detected. If I do it again and press 2, it will be going for a vertical line detection. If I do it again here and press 3, it will go for all diagonal lines chosen. This is how the demo is arranged. And presentation again. The coordinators will help me explain how to go for presentation again. I am on share. Okay. Yes.
Meeting is again. Now your presentation is available. Just run it.
Yeah. Okay. I do it. Now we go for image processing case studies. I have the 5 or 6 case studies. Let's see how the time cooperates. We cover as many as possible. So the first application is script identification using image processing techniques. Basically, a country like India, we are multi-language people and multi-scripts are also available. So we have given a thought that we have some document sorting facility. So that the document is given to the machine, it will tell us in which bin it has to go. So we tried for this, and three different types of scripts were handled at the beginning. One is Telugu, the other is Marathi. Marathi is Devanagari, and the third is English. We tried it on three different scripts only. So as a sample paper is given, of course we have chosen for document, not handwritten documents. So this is indication of Telugu, how it looks, and this is Devanagari Marathi. In English we are familiar with. To identify that every script has got certain features depending on how the horizontal lines, vertical lines, curves, downward and upward curves are used, different scripts are created. So the characteristic feature of Telugu script is there are shaped structure on top of their characters. So we decided that Telugu script will be discriminated based on the shaped structures in the document. Whereas in the Devanagari script, we know that we call it as a Shirorekha. There is a horizontal line on each alphabet, each word we give in Devanagari, we give in Marathi. It is Devanagari, we put the Devanagari instead of calling it Devanagari. So we decided that for Devanagari script identification, let's try to check only the horizontal lines. We did it first. Of course, because things like that are not included over here. We have decided that in this Devanagari script in Marathi language, there can be a minimum single character word also. So we have chosen the minimum number of pixels connected to be 2, and maximum for our document we have chosen it to be 8. Of course, it is empirically chosen and by observation chosen, and we have calculated, we have obtained horizontal lines like this. All the Shirorekhas are identified like this. Then after this step, we have computed the black pixels. We have done the same thing on English Telugu script also, and I am sharing the result table for that. So for Devanagari, we are having this is a single line and half line. So you are getting some numbers over here in Devanagari, whereas in Telugu and English there are no numbers, I mean 0 numbers, because we have given a particular threshold. Above that threshold, if it contributes, if number of black pixels contribute, then only those are considered, otherwise they are considered as a 0 below threshold. So if the entire complete image is considered, these are the count available, because these are 0 because of the thresholding added in the program. Next, to identify the Telugu script, we are considered object like this. Many characters in the Telugu script are having shapes on the top of the character. So we decided that just in the neighborhood, if you have the black pixel like this, and then after that in the upward direction, if you have the black pixel like that, it is to be considered as a tick. And we have added the filtering up, and we obtained the result like this. So all ticks were over here. Whereas in the English and Devanagari, so many ticks were not available. In Devanagari, we use markers, but then the frequency of markers is not that much, which is at par with the Telugu script. So this one is we decided to this detection algorithm result dashing over here. The Telugu we get the values, values is 0 over here. The threshold below that value is calculated as 0 value. So then next is so we done for this should take if no step down objects the simple different dimensions JavaScript use. Next, the example border object. Then one it knows that instead of multiple of authority, so it helps images. Statement overrated. We consider all these given images to basic standard model. And we are consider program we are keeping some processing images, the which and specification using neural network including stationary. So we can serial methods and to share and for system network application you can use so this pattern use the mean and quantification only. But while doing this, we chose the color order RGB and YFG both for a model RGB that are only and YFG is calculated only considered for station. One is directly and the other is less side. We decide that we is always we always go act to particular animate. So we have two classes in one or anything. Whenever we are dealing with class, it is normal animating. And the regression is pretty tight to estimate HB through image. Next one is rigid expression graph condition is polygon. This is output this observation this is focus accuracy is unexpected accuracy of bias. So I change is the better for this. This is two section. Subject number or subject element. So we can see the second for testing for the and if you compare we try to software. It actually since and you look at three research and research we done it. These are two alternatives. This is the actual value given to the students. 0.9 as the move of the greater friend. This is for region when this our region right 4.81 and 4 greater strategy. If you look at this last concept data, how much the error actually algorithm we look at this 4 greater gives better results. So the next one same thing. 3 greater is right and y we use it also. And here also this HB the first column is indicating the values given by the hospitals and the values obtained by previous model and previous model. So if you will often there is going on to people to interact with health. So there are people here. Just the and doctors have all what to treat. Then you don't have to do anything. So I'll check the case study. The optical and the slides are also visible. Hello? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. So we got the next case study plant identification using weak images. So simple steps we use image acquisition, image processing, extraction, and plant identification. We have implemented 3 different types of techniques. Parameter measurement is simple one, can code and for descriptor the standard. So I can go to they use two different databases. One is we have prepared now college campus. We have these collected leaves from the trees and we have scanned and then the database is created. One which is available online. Mr. Bhagamre shared it online, so we taken that also, so that we can validate the results on both the data sets. And the next one is geometric parameters. End of the lead diameter, area, perimeter. All these were calculated based on the. But we have had the boundary extraction, and these were the boundary extraction. We have calculated all the dimensions. Basic features are show form factor, rectangularity, narrow perimeter, and length and width. So we had a combination of all measured things. And based on that, some features are derived also. Number of the area of the using concatenating all features feature vector, and we can use the way of the one percent depending on what is the next chosen. Technique is implemented of code. We are able to work with the input and use protection and use and input and integrate it. So on the leaf boundary we have tried on this input. Based on the input obtained, the handling energy is very good visibility, which is we obtained. And big of features we can calculate of this, you can go faster. Because that is still and depending energy combinations so you can have. So when under concatenation, each test the accuracy, different accuracies are available. I will just take them on comparison result. Use full predictor. So this is the boundary of the leaf and to be and so on. And each point is considered as a to x I by, and then this is input to the Fourier transform, and based on that, the features are obtained. Typical features with maximum value, absolute value, minimum absolute value, average absolute value. Which part we not consider here, only absolute values are considered. And this is the comparison of all three methods. We are trying to pick the two classification class 1, class 2, class 1, class 3, class 2. All combinations are and three methods are used. So we are direct. We give the accuracy is available. Method 1 targeting 96.66 for 273.66 and method 3 is 80.30. This is only two classification. If we increase the number of classes, the accuracy probably is a little bit. This is for classification based on leaves. Next case study is population estimation of white plant for cotton plant using image processing approach. Basically, we are the country more relying on farming, and we know what the problems farmers are facing. So we took a call that we should help them out to identify the presence of pests and depending on that, how much of the pesticide to be given to the plant. We try as an endeavor just to help them out. So this is a typical white fly on the leaf. This is single. There are many, and there are many. So what happens is because of anxiety, farmers use more pesticides than necessary sometimes. And sometimes it also happens that they neglect one or two pests and then goes down because the reproduction rate of pests is too high. One has to monitor every day, and accordingly, the pesticide quantity is to be adjusted. So we have just done the end. We have just had an attempt to count the number of pests on the leaf. So I will show you the algorithm what we have used for that. The problems identified was overuse use of the pesticide, reduced quality and yield, and high economic losses. What do we need to do is control the pesticide use and identify the number of pests available on a given day. So the algorithm used was acquiring the image and color space conversion. Here we have used HSV conversion, HSV model. then background subtraction, thresholding, and morphology. I'll show you actually one by one. So the first step is color space. RGB is converted to HSV and HSV image looks like this. This conversion of color space is just to find out a mask to separate pastes from the background. So HSV gives a good color perception, so we have considered RGB to HSV conversion. Then after that, this HSV is divided into three planes: hue, plane, saturation, and value. And for these three planes, a threshold is defined based on the histogram, and after that thresholding, a mask is obtained. So mask looks like this. Excuse me. So this is how the mask look like. And this mask is then overlapped on the original image, where this is black, that is supposed to be the background in the original image, where this is white is supposed to be the presence of paste in the original image. So we have used this only the mask so that we can use it on the original RGB image. So after applying the mask to the original RGB image, we have done an adaptive thresholding. So what is done is initially threshold T1 is calculated, mean value, and we have had two different groups, then G1 and G2. Below the threshold value and above the threshold value. Then these two groups we have found out M1 and M2. This is typical adaptive thresholding mechanism. And then again the next threshold is calculated based on the means of the two. And this is repeated for some time, and finally we obtain that adaptive thresholded image like this. So what is the problem associated with the thresholded image is if you look at the image, there are certain dots or there are certain connections like this. So obviously it is a call to remove this noise. So we have done a morphology based operation, removing the noise for removing the noise from the image. This operation separates the overlapping pastes, dots, or there are certain connections like this. So obviously it is a call to remove this noise number of pixels. So we have done a morphology based operation, removing the noise for removing the noise from the image. That is to be this operation separates the overlapping pastes, dots, or there are certain connections like this. So obviously it is a call to remove this noise number of pixels. So we have done the morphology based operation, removing the noise for removing the noise from the image. That is to be this operation available. This is the algorithm declared number of pastes. This is manually counted number of pastes. So we have an error column over here like this. So again it is a demo time, as the pedagogy says that you should go for a break. Again I need to switch over to MATLAB. Maybe the coordinators again have to play a role in helping me out how to go for MATLAB.
Your MATLAB window is now visible to us.
Yes.
You can take even a water break.
You said something?
No, you can take a water break also.
Yes. Okay, by the time I will check
Your
my
MATLAB
folder.
window is now visible.
Yes. Let me have a break of 1 minute so that I can have the next folder loaded onto my MATLAB.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Simulink?
Switch on your mic.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah, yeah. Now we are here.
You are audible,
Simulink
yes.
model is visible or not? I am asking.
Yes,
Yes.
Then okay. I can run that. For that, I'll have to enter the image here. I'm just entering the input image. I'll show this on one or two different images. I'll run this Simulink model. Okay, so I'll minimize this and I'll show you one by one sequentially so we'll understand how the algorithm is implemented through Simulink. So here video viewers are added as a block so we can see one by one. This is what is the input image. So let us count the paste manually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pastes are there. Then next is, this is the normalized image, HSV image, color thresholded image, and then noise removed image like this. And the algorithm here goes wrong, telling us 17. So there is an error of 2 pastes. Manually we measured it as 15, we calculated it as 15, now it is giving us 17. I'll show you one more image over here. Okay, we'll apply that change and then again I'll have to run the model. So I can show you the images sequentially. The first one is the input image, looks like this, having 6 pastes. The second looks like normalized image, then converted to HSV. So we have this HSV representation. Here we have color thresholded image and this after the noise removal. So this is also giving us 6. So for this image it works well. 6 pastes were there if you see the original image, and the count is also at the end. If you see the display, it gives us how many number of pastes are there. So with little error, the Simulink model also works fine. So with this, we'll go back to our presentation. Let me minimize all these slides given by MATLAB. Is my presentation available now?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Presentation is
Okay. So we continue with this next case study. It is the texture analysis of CT scan images. So there were so many imaging modalities as far as biomedical imaging is considered: PET, MRI, X-ray, CT, thermograms, and so many. So we have chosen the CT scan based images. This is a sample of CT scan images of human body. Organ-wise segmented images. This is bladder, this is liver, this is spleen. These are the right and left kidneys. This is just a sample image I am showing. The first step is we have to create the organ image library. So CT scan is the imaging modality chosen. And then in CT scan you have 4 different modes where the patient position is to be adjusted so as to collect the data. You can have a brain CT or HR CT or abdominal or lower abdominal covering pelvis also. So for getting brain and neck images, the first one is used. For lung CT, the HR CT is used. I have worked on, we have worked on abdominal CT scan and the lower, that is bladder and kidney CT scans also. And we have created a biomedical image data set over here, BOID we are calling it as. Then there are so many methods implemented. I will try to cover 1 or 2 only. So methods of texture analysis, typically we can go for statistical or structural or signal processing. So I will cover the statistical method used in this project. It is statistical is first order, second order. So second order is based on co-occurrence matrix. So we have gone for co-occurrence matrix. So this is the basic theory of co-occurrence matrix. The crux of co-occurrence matrix tells us the probability of co-occurrence of the same image intensity within a given distance, within a given angle in the image. So this is very basic co-occurrence matrix theory. So let me skip the slide. And what I have done is bit plane slicing and co-occurrence matrices are combined together, and this is the methodology implemented. This is a data set, the region of interest is covered, it's obtained, and based on that 8 bit planes are separated. With this bit plane sizing, we know that each image, if it is represented by 8 bits, you can separate the image in 8 planes like this. So I have done it separation of the images in 8 planes, and then we have tried for combination of these planes, 1 and 2 plane together, 3 and 4 plane together, 1 and 3 plane together. We have tried for so many combinations, and the combined version of bit planes, we have applied the co-occurrence matrix, and based on that, standard 4 features were extracted and given to the classification. So I just show a few slides of the results. This is the combination of the planes. Bit plane 2 and 3 is combined here, 3 and 4 is combined. 3 different bit planes are combined here, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. We tried for many combinations like this, and onto that the co-occurrence matrix is applied, and we have considered the features are given to linear discriminant classifier, and the percentage correctness of this brain and bladder images 90.85. These are the typical values, 99, 94. So it gives us good result when you have a combination of bit planes, and then to the combined bit planes, application of co-occurrence matrix gives us a good result. This is typical, the crux of all these bit planes lies in co-occurrence matrix combination method is explained by sensitivity, specificity, precision, and accuracy. So if you look at the last column, accuracy is very good. I mean, liver 88% accuracy, it is correctly detected. Brain 92% accuracy, correctly detected, and so on. Bladder 95%, kidney 90%, spleen 84%. This is the accuracy of detecting these organs. And the next statistical method only, we tried it based on the local histogram. Actually, in the histogram method, we have tried so many. So I'll be sharing only LBP over here. That too, a local binary pattern, you have to consider you have to consider a central pixel, and with respect to the central pixel, the neighborhood, 8 neighborhood pixels are compared with that, and accordingly, if they are having a small value, consider it as 0. If they are having equal or greater value than the central pixel, they are considered to be 1. So you get all the 8 neighborhood pixels now represented by zeros and ones only. So to those zeros and 1, considering one particular sequence and multiplying it 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 7, so on, you get a number that is to be converted to decimal number again, and the pixel, central pixel is replaced by that number. This is what we call it as a local binary pattern. So through this local LBP concept, we have tried for classification, and the classes 2 class, 3 class, 4 class, 5 class classification. Accuracy is directly represented over here. So 2 class, it gives very good results. For brain and bladder, it gives 98% results. And then as the number of classes are increased, then there is a decrease in the accuracy. The other method tried was a contrast. Now how the contrast is obtained, you just have the image, have the mean of the image, and then subtract mean from all the pixels. So you get a positive and negative numbers in the image matrix, and that is considered to be the contrast. And based on the contrast, we have identified some features, and that gives better accuracy as compared to LBP. And this is again a crux of the LBP total sensitivity, specificity, precision, and accuracy. But as compared to the first method, first statistical method, that is co-occurrence matrix and bit plane slicing method combination, this gives a little less accuracy. There we have obtained the accuracy in 90s. Here we are obtaining the accuracy in 80s and 70s. And the next is, as you remember, we have considered that texture analysis is carried out by 3 methods. Either you go for statistics, or you go for structural, or you go for transform. So transform based method, we tried for Gabor, we tried for Wavelet and Ridgelet also. I'll be sharing only few slides over here. This is a Gabor based result, Gabor based algorithm we used. Bank of Gabor filters is giving me n different images. Then non-linear transformation is applied to that, and then feature extraction. Typical Gabor, of course, scale is 3, orientation is 8. This is through the literature review we have decided these parameters. How do we identify this lower cutoff frequency, upper cutoff frequency? Maybe the question in the mind. So generally we follow what the literature says, and we have done that. So that is also giving us very good accuracy for 2-class classification, 90, 99, 93. Again, the classes are the different types of organs which we have considered. Hello? Someone is saying no audio. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, some window popped up, you are not audible.
Yes, they,
Maybe somewhere some bandwidth issue or somewhere some internet issue will be there.
yes, yes, yes. On their side, the problem is there, I think. Yes.
Okay, so shall we continue?
Yes, yes. We can continue, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Gabor based method gives us the accuracy around in 90s. Next one, we tried for wavelets also. It is just a 3-level decomposition wavelet, giving us 10 different features, 10 different bands and 10 different features. We have used only the average of the band available as a feature, and the accuracy is as per the display, 84, 84, 80 and 80. These are the correct detection rates. We tried the other algorithm also, that the CT scan image is given, and how to segment a particular organ. That algorithm now I'll be sharing with you. I mean, I'll be showing the slides for that. Earlier we have seen how to have a classification. Here the main image is given, and after that main image, automatically the liver is separated out. So we have the size of abdominal CT scan 512, 512. The slice thickness is 10 mm. It is the specification of a CT scan machine used in the local hospital. And we have done the work based on the clustering method over here. Fuzzy Siemens clustering is used. I will show you this one. The original image, then the wavelet decomposition. Through the wavelet decomposition, we have obtained the feature image, and based on the feature image, fuzzy C clustering mechanism is implemented, and segmented image I'll show you. So these are the stepwise results. And this is unsupervised segmentation, of course. So this is the image, and finally this one is separated out. This one is also separated. This is a liver, if you look into the image, and this is also separated. This is actually it is a cavity in the abdomen, and this is a cavity between the ribs and the organs. So all these cavity parts are detected by the algorithms. So then further we have to work so that we can separate out the liver. So this is unsupervised segmentation. So on its own, based on the feature values, the machine is clustering and finding out the organs. This is the technique we have used. The second one is a supervised segmentation. What did we do in supervised segmentation is we have considered 32 by 32 segments, 32 by 32 non-overlapping segments of this image, total image, and we have found out the features based on wavelet, and wherever those wavelet feature value matches, only those pixels are taken out, and that is like this. So this is a liver, and this is what we have obtained by supervised segmentation. So this is for segmentation of a particular organ. This is one another at this the first case study of biomedical image is over. The second case study, syndrome identification. The work is still going on. Syndrome identification based on the facial features or face images we have tried. A simple model is worked out here, and that is giving us very good result, and we have had a good publication based on that also. So the facial features I will be sharing with you. The facial feature points are identified. We tried with Viola Jones also. That's a standard algorithm everyone used, and locating the points is automatic in Viola Jones, and we have tried on manual detection also. So year 4, 1 year 4 points were detected manually. The other year 4 points, around the lip and mouth 5 points, and so on. So total 25 feature points were detected, were identified, and based on the measurements, geometric features were extracted. So what all measurements we have done? We have considered the horizontal distances, eye to eye distance, ear to ear distance, then total leap coverage distance, and so many measurements. If you see in the figure, different parameters are measured. These are linear measurements. So and the issue is, even if the images were captured, syndrome identified as children's school is there in the Aurangabad city. So we have had a permission of the school, and we have gone to acquiring the images of those kids. The typical age group we covered is 8 to 15 years. They come to the school, and then in the school we have created a control environment and had the images. But still, because of the camera issues, because of there are certain artifacts, we need to have a normalization. So we have had a normalization by dividing it with this. If you see the distance from A to A dash, the complete horizontal line is in the denominator. Whatever we have the distances divided by AA, that gives us a good normalization. So with this, I'll directly share with you what is the accuracy we have obtained. We have tried here two different classifiers, linear discriminant and quadratic discriminant classifier. And training data set percentage is changed from 50% to 75%. So when we use 75% data for training, we get good accuracy. That too, quadrature discrimination gives us 90.71% accuracy. This accuracy is two-class classification, whether the child is normal or special. Special is syndrome affected. Typically, we wanted to focus on Down syndrome, but the specific case of Down syndrome and the quantity of the images were not sufficient. So we have made it in general a special child and a normal child. So this is two-class classification giving us 90% accuracy with QDC for 75% training data set. Then the second measurement set was the angular measurements. So the angular measurement of the same with the same point. Now we have measured the angles. So this huge angle P is used for normalization, and the small angles over here, eye angle, nose angle, lip angles. These are the angles measured, and those were divided by this major angle P, so that we get rid of the normalization required because of some artifacts created during the capturing of the image. Then the accuracy obtained here is little less than the first one, but then we have obtained it till 82.14 for 75% training set for quadratic discriminant classifier. Then the results of combination are displayed over here. Linear and angular measurements considered together. This is anthropometric. I'm just showing you the summary of all the methods we tried in this particular technique. Anthropometric measurements, linear measurement, angular measurement, and combination of linear and angular measurement. So we've got good results over here, 84, 85, 87, 85, and so on, depending on how the training data set percentage is varied. This is for linear discriminant classification. For quadratic discriminant classification, very good results are obtained. So this is how the work is done for syndrome syndrome detection, I would say, instead of identification. Then the next and the last is already we have gone through the earlier first presentation by Dr. Ulpikar sir. He shared so many industrial applications. I would like to cover a few again. One of my friend is associated with Authentic Engineers in Delhi, and she has worked for the actual industrial projects. She handled the Honda cars pistol variant inspection. So what is the target is find model code and actual arrow direction. So this is the model code on the piston, and this is the arrow direction. So through image processing, they have identified, the algorithm has identified, yes, there is an arrow, so that is correct. There is a model code, so that is correct. So this is the okay image. Then the next one is, this is also okay image because the arrow is there, fixed in direction, and the model code is also there. But in few pistons, see, the arrow is missing. Only the model code is there. So this is not good image. So the company has to take care of this one. This is the first project she has done. Then this is a routine DICO power transmission, they are doing it. Surface flaw detection. So surface is, this is a flaw over here. They have a blob tool and filter tool, and based on that the position of this flaw is identified. Here also there is a flaw like this. This is the image and this is after processing the flaw position is determined. This is also a very good bid profile inspection. It is for this particular company. So this is a bid and it is in continuity, it has to be there. If there is some break, has to be identified through image processing tool. So here is, if you see, the total bid length is broken into small pieces and the continuity is observed. So in this sample there is no gap. So as there is no gap, it is considered to be the okay image. If you look at the other sample over here, here there is a gap, here there is a gap. So the continuity will not be there in the wires in the beads. So this is not good image. And the next is rocker arm inspection. So this is an engine, this rocker arm is there, this particular, these 1, 2, 3, 4. This is important for the position. This is good image. If you look at this has changed the position. This arm should be in this position, it has changed the direction. So through image processing, one has to declare that there is some issue with this particular produced thing. Then the next and very simple one, even the students of yours can try these things. This is for Gurgaon weld shop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the studs to be mounted. And the presence and absence of stud is to be monitored with the help of image processing. So what is done is, this is okay image because you can observe the studs over here. But here there is no stud, the stud is missing here also, here also. So through image processing it can be declared that the studs are yet to be mounted and the strength of the product will not be okay if without that, if the product goes in the assembly line. Then the last application I would like to share is, this is the product developed. Onto that the product code has to be there. So this is the camera identifying the product code. Let's see how it goes. Okay, I have skipped the video, it will take time. Then this is the code which is optical character recognition has done. This is the code with the help of image processing we can identify it. That's all to share today. I think we can discuss now the questions if at all.
Yes, ma'am. We can have questions. Before that, I would like to say, I think session was very well planned and laid out. That was easy to follow. Also, MATLAB implementations you have shown by sharing the screen were very useful. And now we will take some questions. Okay, ma'am. Hello.
Ma'am, your mic is
Not on. Hello.
yeah,
yes,
it's on now.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Can we take some questions, ma'am?
Yes.
One of the participants is asking which neural network analysis method is used in recognition of HB.
It is used as a classifier, not
Okay.
the feature extraction. Okay. So we have
Okay.
tried it on backpropagation network. Very
Okay.
simple and the fundamental network we have used. It is just to classify because the target given was whether the subject is normal or anemic.
Okay.
So it was very simple to use a simple backpropagation network there.
Yes. Okay, now moving on to next question. What is the bias value in ANN model?
What is the bias value? I'll have to check. So give me time. Maybe I'll reply on mail.
Yes,
Because
yes.
right now in this
Sure.
laptop I don't have that work.
Okay, okay.
The other PC is to be turned on to find out what is exactly
Okay.
the programming used there.
Okay, okay. Why do we convert RGB to HSI color model in counting the pastes?
Yeah, because in HSV color model we get the discrimination properly. The white paste, the background. Sometimes what happens when you have the image,
Yes.
because of the brightness, because this is a leaf image, right? It is in the farm. So
Yes,
because of
yes.
the sunlight also the white pixels are there and we may mistake it as a paste. So
Yes.
if you convert it to HSV, the picture becomes more clear, pastes are more visible.
Yes, yes,
So that we have done it. And just to have a mask, we have converted to HSV and have a thresholding. and after that the mask is applied again onto the RGB original image.
Yes. Next question is, if any internal bleeding occurs, then how could you quantify that internal bleeding?
I mean, in CT scan,
Yes, I think
I
they
think
have.
so. I think so.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
So in
Regarding that,
CT scan,
yes.
if the CT scan image covers that bleeding spot, then naturally there will be change in the image.
Okay. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello?
1 minute, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, 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 ma'am. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
So if
One of
there
the
is
question
a
is.
I think,
Continue.
Sir,
if
can we take
bleeding
questions,
spot
sir?
is identified in CT scan, I mean captured by CT scan, then
Yes,
there
yes.
will be change in the image, and that
Yes.
can be very well discriminated through texture identification.
Okay, 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 ma'am.
Yes, that can be done.
Okay. What is the age group used for syndrome classification?
Syndrome identification, school children we have used 8 to 15.
8 to 15. Okay. One very interesting question is, what is the role and future of image processing in such COVID-19 like conditions?
Yet to explore.
Yes, ma'am.
COVID-19 is, we are
Ah,
suffering. Everyone is in the lockdown mode.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
that's how I'm talking with a virtual audience for me, an invisible audience, I would say. It's a prophecy type of thing. Some device is giving you voice.
Okay, okay.
So yet to explore what can we do with image processing. Probably thermal imaging will help in identifying COVID-19, not the regular imaging.
Not
The
very good,
modality
yes.
has to be changed. We have thermal imaging cameras, and then body
Yes.
temperature can be monitored onto that.
Observed. Yes, yes.
And yes, and based on that, even what the doctors are doing now, they have a thermal gun. They check the temperature. So that can be done through a thermal imaging camera. Yes, that is possible.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Next, if we go for binary classification,
Ah,
hello, ma'am. Okay.
yes.
Classification result may be more than 90% generally. Will it be
Okay.
same? Will it be same if we opt for multi-classification?
So basically, that depends on how the image classes are differing from each other.
Okay.
Like for example, simultaneous. I am working on one of the projects where we are identifying the medicinal plants. Where we are choosing some Corford. I don't know whether everyone understands. We are going for Tulsi. We are going for Datura. These are the images. So to identify that Corford, we are using binary classification because midrib is essential. If midrib is there, yes, you can outright you can remove those images. I mean that
Correct.
classification is. We are using a binary tree type.
Type, yes.
One class is segregated first. Then within the remaining multi-class, take out one more class, take out another class, and so on. So that the finally, see, outcome is accuracy has to be good.
Good. Yes.
So one has to try for that.
Okay, okay. The next question is, what features are extracted from log Gabor filter for image recognition? And how
Okay, after
are these
Gabor filtering, the subbands are available. I generally go for averaging and this thing, mean and standard deviation.
Okay, okay.
There are many possibilities of features, but our work is based on mean and standard deviation.
Okay, okay. Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Sir, can we have some more questions?
If you want,
So,
yes.
okay. So,
One more question is there. Can we apply any deep learning algorithm for twins face recognition?
What recognition?
twin space.
Twin face.
Twin face. What is to be? I did not get the question. Twin face means
Twins.
similar twins or
Recognition.
dissimilar twins?
Similar twins.
Similar twins.
Okay. We can
Face
always
recognition of similar twins.
Oh, deep learning. Yes, one has to try. Yes, that's a challenging question actually.
Madam, from
Little bit.
differentiate.
I understood now. Can we differentiate between the twins using the images? Deep learning,
using the deep
whether it
learning
will
method.
help. One has to try. I cannot directly tell anything. I mean,
Eyes
I am not.
classify different.
Okay.
Varsha madam, Professor Sapkar here.
Sir.
Oh. Can you
Hello,
hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Very informative classification session. Image very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Varsha ma'am.
Yes. Shall I leave the event now?
Wait
Yeah.
for a few minutes.
Wait for a few
Okay.
minutes, ma'am.
Wait.
You can
Okay.
just wait.
Okay.
Mohite madam.
Amruta, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I'm here. Good afternoon, all. I'm lucky to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks of today's second session of Signal, Image and Video Processing, a Practical Approach 2020. We are delighted to have Dr. Varsha Patwadkar ma'am with us to share the knowledge in our FDP. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Dr. Varsha Patwadkar ma'am for her explanation of various image processing case studies. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your guidance. Now, we are taking a lunch break of 1.5 hours, and